Hey, this is Jerron with Power and Leadership Enterprise, using experience to help leaders make great plans. And so I wanted to talk about confusion. Confusion to me is another word for conflict, and that's when two parties, two different sides of a relationship or partnership are looking to a common solution in a different way. All right. Um, Conflict, more often than not, the intentions are good. However, there's a good saying that the road to hell is made with good intentions. So I will say that the way that we solve confusion, the way that we solve conflict is that it's better to understand. And I'm gonna go a little bit deeper about what it means to understand, and what that means is wisdom. Okay, when I say wisdom, and the prerequisites for wisdom is to first have ignorance, meaning you do not know about a certain subject, which is a good thing, because when I think about ignorance, I think about innocence. And when I think about innocence, I think about a child who is able to operate in life and not knowing the repercussions of their actions, and being able to do things carelessly. And because we have all dealt with a certain amount of pain, we've all dealt with a certain amount of humiliation, that sometimes we get defensive and we don't do certain things that we know can be in our best interest, but we are more afraid of being hurt. Nonetheless, ignorance is a prerequisite for wisdom. The next prerequisite is truth. Once again, going through the different ups and downs in life, going through the different events, that's our truth. That's our perspective. Now, I get it. Perspective is not always the truth. However, we have our truth. And the thing about it is, we all have our own gifts. We were all put on earth for a specific reason. So it's okay that our perspective is not going to be the same as another person. And at the same time, it's okay if our perspective is off, because we can all learn from one another. And I think that us being on earth, we are a communal species. We like to be around people, hence why some people that are alone feel that they are not worthy in life. It's because they would like to relate to other people. And something really interesting when it comes to relating is that when we are building relationships, it's more about relating. However, a lot of times when we get into relationships, and this can be intimate situations, or it could be work situations or relationships with other business people, is that we get into the relationship with an expectation that people operate with certain traits, when we forget all about the relating part. Nonetheless, the second prerequisite when it comes to wisdom is gaining truth, and then assimilating truth. That's just the different experiences, and then being able to act on that truth. That's the last thing, or the application of truth, is wisdom. Okay, and so that's the way we will define conflict, is that people are bringing their wisdom. And that's why I'm saying unintentionally we're trying our best to come to a solution. At the same time, we don't have a way that we actually are solving conflict. So then we reach stalemates. We reach points where nothing is actually being solved, or we realize that we're crossing the line, or the other person is crossing the line. And to avoid any more hurt, we don't actually come up with a solution. We just talk to ourselves internally, and then are able to move on. But a real business person, a real leader, is able to find solutions to problems. And we do that by being able to understand. There's a saying, do you want to be rich, or do you want to be happy? I'm sorry. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be rich? Or do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? You can use the two interchangeably. But it means a lot to me, because if I know that I have a purpose, and in the instance where I'm having conflict, do I want to waste that energy on being right? And that time frame could be 5 minutes, it could be hours, but sometimes the emotional damage can be weeks to overcome. Do I want to waste that week over being right about a situation, or do I want to understand where the other person is coming from so that I'm able to serve them in the future? Because for me, I feel that it's better for things to be revealed than to try to figure them out. And so when we're trying to be right, then we want people to figure us out, and then we're trying to figure them out, whereas they're revealing their true intentions. And I've just spoken on individuals' personal perspectives and where they may be coming from. But if we can take that mind shift to be able to understand that someone else has a different perspective, that we'll be able to serve them. Then with the law of reciprocity, then they'll be able to better understand us. So, and then the other thing, and so just in a nutshell, if I have a purpose, then I rather my energy go into that purpose, because in doing that, then I'm becoming an expert in a respective area. Okay, and people pay for your expertise, and when I say pay, whether it be money or paying attention, so it's better to be in your area where you can actually have an argument where it's more believable on the other person's end to be able to trust your leadership. And the other saying was, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And it deals the same thing with understanding um, that in a relationship, it's supposed to be an ongoing thing, and that you're relating to one another. As I mentioned, we've lost that concept. And so in the relating, you want to understand, basically serve, and actually being the change that you want to see, so that once again, in the law of reciprocity, that the other person does the same thing.